Well, y'all did it. You said the game was too easy. Never mind the countless rollovers. Never mind the long hauls. Never mind the difficult tasks. No, this game is way too easy and must be made more difficult. So what exactly is hard mode? Well, it's either your absolute dream or
it's your greatest nightmare.
regardless of which one it actually is for you, I figured that we should definitely dive into it and check it out and see what it's all about. Now, recently I dove into it a little bit on one of my live streams, but as far as really getting a feel for it, I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. So, to demonstrate what makes hard mode so much more difficult is the fact that A, you're starting out from the very beginning. I mean, you literally start out right from the beginning, right where you initially did. Secondly, there's no time skipping, so if you don't like night, tough. You're gonna have to enjoy it, or at least you're gonna have to learn to enjoy it. Recoveries cost money. Fuel costs money. Literally every single thing that you are used to doing in the original game now pretty much costs money. So, with that being said, it's actually a very immersive experience, or at least it can be if you are a fan of long-term, dedicated, focused gameplay. Now, first of all, if you get a vehicle stuck and you need a recovery and there really isn't anything else around, well, for a scout, that's going to cost you $2,000. For a highway truck, that's going to cost you $2,500. For a heavy-duty and off-road vehicle, that's going to cost you $5,000. And for a heavy, that is going to cost you $8,000 to recover. Auto-loading costs money, $150 for each piece of cargo. All vehicles are sold for 50% of the purchase price, so you effectively lose money on every vehicle you buy. You also cannot sell trailers, so forget about using trailer sales to bolster your bank account. Also, repairing in a garage costs money. Refueling in a garage is disabled. You can only fuel from either fuel trailers or fuel stations, and players can only fully repair vehicles without the option to repair or to repair separate parts. Full repair price differs for truck types. For example, Scouts cost $1,500 to repair. Highway trucks also cost $1,500 to repair. Heavy-duty and off-road vehicles cost $2,500 to repair, and heavies cost $5,000 to repair. Contests become available after 3 attempts. They literally just disappear. Fuel also costs money, but the price of fuel actually differs depending on which station you stop at. For example, a little bit later on in this video, you will see that to fuel up the truck that I'm driving right now at one of the stations on this map, it would have cost me $8 a gallon. $8 a gallon to fuel this truck. Absolutely wild. Now, service add-ons and trailers can be resupplied with repair points in special resupply zones. These special zones are only available in hard mode. Repair points cost money. 1 repair point equals 2 conversional units. Repairing 1 spare wheel costs $50. Enter resupply zones with service trailer or add-on. Deploying in a garage costs money if it was previously retained in a different garage, or in better terms, a transport charge. Deploy within one region price, $1,000. Deploy in the other region or any other region price, $3,500. This is just, the more I explain, the more I reflect on how incredibly difficult it would be to do a full game playthrough in hard mode. Now, granted, this is the very first Michigan map, right? This is the very first Michigan map, which is, not all that difficult in the grand scheme of the game. This map, at this point, ever since playing SnowRunner from the beginning, if I went back to this map now in normal mode, you could probably finish it in a few hours, especially if you had some friends. You could probably just blow right through this map. Now, that doesn't account for the multi-map contracts and stuff like that, but we're not really talking about that. But imagine playing through something like Imandra in hard mode with all of these extra charges, all of these extra limitations, and all of these extra, effectively, realism-based changes. I mean, you are pretty much turning the game into a full-length roleplay when you start a career in hard mode. So, once again, you have to be a fan of the long game if you are going to be starting a hard mode playthrough. If you are not a fan of the long, patient playstyle, that's not necessarily going to be the mode for you. If you're not a fan of being patient, I would recommend staying very far away from hard mode. But if you are a fan of realism, if you are a fan of roleplay, if you are a fan of really getting immersed in the experience and really making sure that every move counts, hard mode is definitely where you will want to be. Now, one other thing that I noticed about playing in hard mode was that my definition of what was risky and what was not risky started to change very, very quickly. Now, things that I would have considered, you know, completely and totally risk-free in a standard campaign playthrough suddenly carried actual risk and actual consequences here. And that really does change the attitude of the game. That really does change the way you play the game, because at the end of the day, you technically can lose the game. You technically can break all your trucks and run out of money and not be able to recover and literally fail the game and have to start all the way from the beginning again. And the fact that there's a chance that that could happen instills just enough fear in you while you play that little bits of truck damage start to kind of eat away at your soul a little bit. You know, they really start to eat away at how comfortable you feel within the game world and within the environment. Now, if you are one of the people that has gotten the chance or had the ability to check out the public test server on PC, definitely let me know in the comments section below if you have been enjoying hard mode. Definitely let me know in the comments section below if hard mode is something that you find yourself playing more, or if you find yourself playing it less, or if it's something that you really haven't even bothered to touch, right? Let me know in the comments below if this is something that you think will be a whole new element of life for the game, if it adds that level of replayability that you've wanted, or if it adds that level of challenge or extra realism or extra tension to the playthrough that you've wanted. Because, you know, we've seen in other games, people love realism. People love roleplay level realism. We've seen other games where people have legitimately created realism mods or hardcore mode mods in games where the developers didn't offer that. Whereas here in SnowRunner, we're very lucky that the developers really do recognize the draw of ultra-realistic gameplay, or just like, you know, gameplay that's more difficult than before, and, you know, they recognize that, and they provide that to us as players. Now, if you wanted to go one step further, I feel like if you really, really wanted to get that super hardcore edge in SnowRunner, you could do a hardcore mode playthrough with the HUD completely disabled. And honestly, just thinking about that kind of internally makes me a little nervous, because I'm like, dude, if I tried to do that, I would either, one of two things would happen. I would either get so incredibly immersed in the game that I would play it for like 5 hours straight, or I would get everything stuck in like 10 minutes and everything would be broken and I would have no way to recover back to the garage, and I would completely like fail the game within the first 10 to 15 minutes of starting it. Now, I don't know if that would actually happen, but at the same time, I'd be kind of curious to find out. Now, as you can see right here, once again, we are having to fuel up at a gas station, and obviously you can see the price of fuel right there. You can see how much it's going to cost to fill it up. And once again, that wasn't a very big fill up, and you still see how much that actually cost. So think about that in the long run when you're getting into trucks that have bigger fuel tanks, when you're going to be fueling up larger amounts of fuel. It's gonna actually get pricey pretty quick. And I'm also, you know, thinking about maps like the Yukon, which are huge. You've got these giant long hauls. You're going to have to not only plan out the distance and the mileage of your fuel, but you're also going to have to budget for it. And that is the other big thing, is that you're going to have to start budgeting for things in SnowRunner. we never thought, or at least I never thought, that I was going to have to start budgeting for things in the game, budgeting for repairs, budgeting for fuel, budgeting for upgrades. But really, this mode makes it so that that is a reality for you. That is something that you have to think about, and if you don't think about it, once again, your transportation company will not last very long at all. But once again, let me know all of your thoughts on this hard mode in the comment section down below. Let me know if it's something you've been looking forward to, let me know if it's something you've been playing around with, or let me know if it's something that you don't think you're going to touch. Either way, once again, let me know down there in the comment section below. And also, I found out very quickly that on my way to collect that upgrade, this path is way too narrow for this truck. Way too narrow. So I immediately decided not to roll myself over, and instead I decided to back up and turn around. So I figured that was the smart move in this case. But once again, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you all later.